Hello, again, my name is Starla Gibson, and I'm just going to be going over my informal assessments that I created and gave to my student who is in the 4th grade, and we are calling her Ellie. So I chose to assess Ellie in 3 different areas due to her having an intellectual disability and just struggling in all 3 areas. I created 3 different assessments to target these areas of weakness. Ellie struggles with vocabulary and word definition. She also struggles with creating linguistically complex sentences, as well as just having good sentence structure. Upon taking the Kaufman Test of Educational Achievement, Ellie had scored to be way below average in mathematics, math computation, and math concepts and applications. In an attempt to take a sample of her weakness in mathematics, I chose to create just several addition and subtraction problems. So I chose 4 of each type, just in case maybe she accidentally miscalculates or something. That way I have more than just one problem to go off of to determine if she actually knows how to do these areas or not. So we have just basic addition, single digit plus single digit. And then we have some double digit addition, no regrouping. We have 4 of those. And then we have some double digit addition with regrouping. I made this a 2-page test because we also have subtraction that I'm doing with this. We have single digit subtraction, double digit subtraction, no regrouping, and then a sample of double digit subtraction with regrouping added in there. So if you look at these 2 assessments here, I gave them to Ellie, and if we start with addition and you look at her single digit addition, she missed 1, and it was just, I believe, a simple miscalculation. She was off by 1 number. So she got a 75% accuracy in this area. So obviously, for me, I see that she can clearly add single digit by single digit numbers with ease. If we look at double digit numbers without regrouping, again, she only missed 1, and it was just 1 number off. For this one, again, I think it was just a simple miscalculation. She got 75%. She was able to do the rest of them with ease. When we look down here, when you add regrouping into the picture, we see something completely different. She's not quite sure what to do. She's trying to add all the little lines and add them up together instead of taking her 1. So we're definitely struggling in this area. She got 0 of them correct. I noticed with some of them, like here, the 4 plus 6, she got 10. So her math is right, but then she put her 10 here. And then she added her 7 plus 1 and got to 8. So struggling a little bit there. We're not quite understanding the concept with regrouping. I noticed the same thing with subtraction. Single digit, down packed. Double digit, got it down packed. She missed 1. Miscalculation again. Having the same issue here with the regrouping. We got none right. But if you look at her regrouping here for subtraction, I notice in the ones place, she's taking the bottom number and then subtracting the top number. So 5 minus 2 instead of 2 minus 5. And then she's just taking her 2 minus 1 over there. So regrouping definitely has proven to be her weakness in mathematics. So with that being said, I also tested her on vocabulary and word definitions. I created an assessment to determine her abilities to choose the correct words in a passage, just to make it make the most sense. In doing this, she got 5 of the 12 sample problems correct. So I'm going to show you an example of it. It looks like this. I made a story, and then I went back and had added in to where she can choose the different words. Like, after playing in the front yard on a hot, her options were like winter, calm, or summer day. So she went through this and read and circled, and she scored a 42% accuracy on this. She missed, she got 5 of the 12 right. So this is another thing we really struggled on, and that's something that her test data had showed her that she struggled on. The last thing that I tested on her was her ability to create linguistically complex sentences, and just like her sentence structure. So I created this little writing worksheet. I made a little box at the top, and so she takes a word and then she puts it down here and writes a sentence using the word. That way she's not just completely trying to pull a sentence out of midair. She has something to start with. When doing this, if we look at her stuff here, so grammar, I tested her on a lot of different things with this. I looked at her grammar. Of the 5 sentences, 4 out of 5 of them were correct. The grammar that I did mark wrong was she put, "I'm eating at 11:25 o'clock." I think she just wasn't quite sure how to put time in a sentence. For complete sentences, every one of her sentences, all 5, are complete. She knows how to make a complete sentence. Spelling she struggles with, not as bad as I would have thought given her test that she's taken, but she does struggle. She got 17 out of the 20 words that she wrote correct, puts her at 85%. Punctuation, she forgot a lot of periods. She used exclamation marks, but no periods. So she got 2 out of 5 on punctuation, which put her at a 40%. Capitalization, I gave her a 0 because she did not capitalize any of her first letters, but she capitalized just random letters. Like in today, she capitalized the D, and I know that she also wrote it backwards. There were several letters that she was writing backwards, and just like random little letters in her writing were capitalized that should have been lowercase. So, with all that being said, to help Ellie improve her abilities in mathematics, I recommend just working with her on regrouping. I wouldn't work on addition and subtraction at the same time. I know that can get confusing. I recommend starting with addition and introducing borrowing, like with explicit detail. I believe that it would be best to give her a worksheet and have her just like focus on the ones place. Maybe even circle them or whatever she needs to do, and decide if when you add those 2 together, is it more than 10 or less than 10? And if it is more, have her just like put a little check on it or something, and have her stop and think if she writes that check mark and know, okay, well, it went over 10, so there's something I have to remember to do. Grid lines, I've noticed, are really beneficial for this. And so I think she really needs help with that. Subtraction, I would make it more of like a real life scenario. Like, say, when you're looking at the ones place, break your ones off, maybe circle them or whatever. And if there's a 2 on the top and say a 5 on the bottom, you can ask her, if I have 2 apples and you need 5, do I have enough to give you? And I hope she'll say no. And if she does, then you can tell her, well, you can borrow them from your neighbor, but you can only borrow 10 at a time. You have to borrow them in 10. So put that 10 with my 2, and then now do I have enough for you to borrow? I think just more concrete examples like that would make more sense to her. To help her improve her vocabulary, moving along from math, and just her word definitions, I believe that it would be beneficial for her to focus on various assignments that have like blanks that you can create stories. Like she could write missing words, or even just like practice circling words that make the most sense, similar to the assessment that I gave her. She could work on just small stories and the vocabulary that go with those stories daily. For example, you could give her just like a small story each week and have her read it every single day that just has certain vocabulary words. And then give her just a different assignment every day with those vocabulary words. Like, give her a sentence or a sentence for each one. For example, like, Mary was very blank because she got a new backpack. And the vocabulary word, one of them might be happy. So you could say, Mary was very, hopefully she'll take happy and plug it in because she got a new backpack. Moving along from that, to help Ellie improve her abilities in creating linguistically complex sentences, as well as just her sentence structure, I recommend just focusing, for starters, on capitalization, punctuation, and just her grammar. You could have her do this just by working on when to capitalize words and why they're capitalized would be really good for her to know, as well as just reviewing lowercase and uppercase letters. I recommend doing the same thing with punctuation, just the periods, exclamation marks, question marks, just things like that. After this, I would have her work on just sentence building by taking adjectives, nouns, verbs, and propositions and things like that, and just placing them together in the correct order just to make a complete sentence. You could also have her look at sentences that have already been built and just have her figure out what's wrong with them. Now, looking at sentences that are already built and having her figure out what's wrong with them, as far as just like placing the verbs and nouns and all that together, that's something that I feel like if I could change something about my assessments, I probably would go back and change. I feel like now that I've done it, that would be more accurate than this, because I feel like this is good and it shows me some of the things that she can do, but it also kind of shows me some of the things she can do on her level. It doesn't really, like, she could use 3 words, I'm happy today, and that's a complete sentence. It's accurate, it's complete, but I feel like I could have had her look at more complex sentences, and I feel like I would have got a better grasp on what she's actually able to do. The math, personally, I'm fond of how I did the math. I like it because it showed me exactly where she's struggling with addition and subtraction. My literacy one for the stories, I like this one. I think it would be good to have her do stories that she's familiar with, as well as maybe things that she's not familiar with, like a topic she knows about and a topic she doesn't, so that I can really grasp if she's really understanding or if she just has some background knowledge and filling in the gaps. I'd like to know if she can just do it without that. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching, and